Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. TGIF. Woo! Thank God it's Friday. Welcome back to the Empower Her Experience podcast.
Yep.
I'm your host, Christy Copeland, but guess what? Got a co-host today. We got the mister in the house with me today. So the Copelands are going to be hosting this show on today. I'm so happy to have my favorite guest. He's not a stranger to the Empower Her Experience podcast. Yeah. My husband, my boo, 25 years of marriage and counting, forever to go.
Yeah.
So glad to have him here today. I love him.
Yes.
And I'm so glad that he was able to take time out of his busy schedule and be here for us today to talk with us. So y'all come on in. Right. Let's talk today. We got a good hot topic today. Ooh. So come on. Let's talk about it. We're going to engage and talk about something real today.
Yeah.
So how you feel about being here today?
I feel good. I'm ready. Let's get ready to go.
All right. He said he's ready, y'all. He said he's ready. Let's do it. Okay. So today we are going to be talking about a topic that we kind of we don't really want to talk about. I'll put it like that.
There you go.
We're going to talk about something that people really don't like to talk about. People really don't like to admit about this. But today we're going to talk about something that quietly destroys intimacy. And that is pride.
Ooh,
pride. My goodness. We're going to talk about pride in relationships, y'all. So we're not talking about confidence today. We're not necessarily talking about boundaries today. We're talking about pride. Tag, share, like, send this to somebody. Because listen, pride can exist in any relationship. Yeah, Trust me when I say it can exist in any relationship. And so I have my husband with me today, and we are going to unpack how pride can slowly create emotional distance in relationships.
Yes.
You ready?
Let's go.
All right. So again, we are the Copelands. So like, tag, share. If you know somebody who needs this today, come on. Send it to them, share it with them, and tell them, hey, you got to get on. They are going to be talking about something that you do not want to miss today. Yep. All right. So let's get started.
Let's go.
All right. So, Terrell, let's see where I want to start with you today. All right. So from your perspective,
yeah,
what does pride look like in a relationship?
From my perspective, pride looks like refusing to apologize first or not saying I'm sorry.
Come on.
Pride says, I can't be wrong.
Right.
I always need to feel the need to be right.
Right.
Or needing to win.
Ooh.
The argument.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Not wanting to admit that you're wrong. Saying, you know what? I don't need to apologize. And sometimes I think pride, it looks like defensiveness. It looks like you're, refusing to bend. It looks like you said, yep. I'm not apologizing. Even when you know you should, know.
Right.
And so let me ask you this, but do you think pride shows up differently in men than in women?
I don't think so.
Really?
From my perspective.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because what we just talked about earlier, what we just listed, not willing to bend, not willing to recognize and wanting to win the arguments, that's from both sides.
Right.
We've all experienced that, in a relationship.
Yes.
So I say no.
Okay. That's good. And I think, like you said, I think pride can show up very similar on both sides. the silent treatment, and withdrawing from your partner, just shutting down completely emotionally. Even though women tend to be more verbal, sometimes women can shut down and do silent treatment as well. But no matter how they respond, both sides can create distance in the relationship. Because we're talking about when pride makes you distant in relationships. So even the shutting down and even the withdrawing and all those things, even when you're verbally speaking, that can also create distance in the relationship. And silence definitely and withdrawing can be a form of pride. Because sometimes we want to say, oh, I'm good, I'm preserving my peace, but sometimes silence isn't peace. It's a form of punishment.
That's right.
It's a form of punishment. Like the silent treatment, that's a form of control. I'm controlling you with my attitude. It's like saying, I'm not giving you access.
Right.
And then we think that what we're doing is actually standing our ground, but it's really pride. Sometimes you think that you're being strong, but no, you're just protecting your ego.
Right.
It's more about your ego than it is about that relationship.
Yeah. It's the little small things that cause the ignoring. Right. That's all part of silence.
Right.
And, you're controlling your partner.
Yes.
When you do that.
Yes.
And the most important thing is you got to remember, you can destroy your relationship and you can set things back because you're not willing to discuss it, and you going silent, you're ignoring, and that's causing friction. And what you don't want to do is cause that friction, because it can cause the relationship to have a strain on it, and it can put things in a bad place. So you want to be able to open up, and it's hard, but at the same time, you don't want to ignore your partner. Just don't want to do that. That's not good.
Right, because sometimes you can let it go for so long and let your ego and your pride interfere in the relationship for so long till it's hard to recover from that.
That's right.
So so that was good. That was good. So we're gonna go a little deeper, and let's talk about how fear, like the fear of rejection, or the fear or disrespect, or being misunderstood, how do those things contribute to pride?
As far as being misunderstood, that's a big one, because communication is the key to the relationship.
Right.
And when you add fuel to the fire when you don't communicate.
Right.
You got to have relationships of communication.
Yes.
That's very important.
Yes. Yes.
And when you're misunderstood, you're not heard. Your voice is not heard. And so your voice needs to be heard in the relationship.
And I'm glad you said that, because as a counselor, whenever I see couples, the majority of the time, the problem that they have is their communication. And, one is trying to get their feelings out. The other one's trying to get their feelings out. But neither one of them are really listening to the other person to understand where they're coming from. They're listening so they can respond to what's being said. And a lot of times I tell them, I hear both of you trying to express your feelings, but I don't hear either of you listening to the other person.
Right.
And so it causes poor communication, and poor communication can be damaging to a relationship. So we talked about misunderstood. And then another thing about fear, it fuels the pride. So like if I feel disrespected, then I might shut down because I'm afraid to express that, hey, you hurt my feelings. I'm hurt. So then pride at that point, it just becomes my armor. It just becomes protection, saying I'm going to protect me before I let you hurt me.
There you go. I'm gonna look out for me. I can't let you get the upper hand. I can't let you win. That's what basically you're saying.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about how emotional distance quietly starts in relationships, such as a feeling that's not expressed, or a dismissive comment that gets brushed off by the other person, or saying things like, it's fine, even when you know it's not fine. Now, I can tell you, us women, we can do that. We got that down pat. We'll say that in a minute. Oh, fine. How you doing? Fine. We know we're not fine. So, men, if you hear that, fine, just know she's not fine.
Really? Okay.
Now you know.
Now we know. Thank you for the secret. Thank you for the secret.
Oh my goodness, I just told my secret. So when these moments aren't repaired, then they start to accumulate.
That's
right?
Yeah.
So then the distance isn't built in one argument. Like, it's built in unrepaired moments. So how do you think emotional distance quietly starts?
It starts small. One ignored conversation, one defense response, no apology or one apology at a time. And apologies not even given.
Wow. So then let me ask you this. What happens when both partners refuse to apologize first? Wait.
When both partners refuse to apologize first?
Yes.
No one winning in that situation. Nobody's winning in this situation.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn the corner. This transparent moment. So we've been married for 25 years. 25 years. Been together for 27 years.
Yeah.
So has there ever been a time where that you can remember that neither one of us wanted to apologize first?
Out of 25 years, there's been plenty of times, throughout the years that there's been times like that. So I just can't pick just one.
But you're right.
But you're right.
It does happen, and I know I've been one at one time. So and probably many times. But like you said, nobody wins.
Nobody
when both partners are people, it don't matter if it's your family, if your friend, if it's your spouse or your partner. When both partners or people refuse to apologize first, then guess what? Nobody moves. And the space just continues to keep growing between you. And so, like I said earlier, sometimes we allow it to go so far that it's very hard to repair the relationship.
Yep.
Pride can destroy a lot of relationships. And so let's shift into why reaching out first sometimes can feel like losing. So we're talking about how both partners refuse to apologize. So why does reaching out, or why does being the first one to apologize, sometimes it feels like losing?
Because it shows from a male perspective, it's like, if I do this first, you won. In certain arguments or something, or it makes you feel weak. It makes a male feel weak sometimes. And so that's why us as men, we guard it. And so that we don't want to do that. That's how we truly feel at times. I can only speak from a male perspective. There's been times where I felt like, if I gave it the situation and I spoke first, you won.
Oh my goodness.
But I can't let her win.
It's not about winning. We're going to talk about that in a minute. For some people, reaching out first or apologizing first, it feels like you're giving in. It feels, and sometimes you feel like, you know what, I'm tired of being the bigger person. Yeah. Like, I'm always apologizing. They don't never apologize. They don't ever admit they're wrong. And so for some people, it feels like you're admitting that you're at fault, or, just giving in and being the bigger person. It's like, why they can't be the bigger person sometimes? Why does it always have to be me?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But you are right. Sometimes that male ego, which is what we can really talk about right now, is
Really?
the ego. Not just the male ego, but the ego. But you brought it up. So, hey, because ego equates humility with weakness. You mentioned that. You mentioned weakness. Sometimes you can feel like, come across as weak. But you know what? I have to say one thing. It takes a lot of strength to apologize. It really does. Yeah. We can view it as weakness, but it's easy to just keep going and not, apologize or acknowledge it and just kind of brush over it or sweep it under the rug. But it takes a lot out of you to be able to say, you know what, I was wrong. My bad. I'm so sorry. It takes a lot. So instead of viewing it as a weakness, see it as a sign of strength. Not as you're losing, but as you are doing this because you care about the relationship, not you don't care about winning.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
And so it feels like to someone who equates humility with weakness, it feels like surrender instead of actual strength.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of strength to do that. And so I want to ask you another question, Boo. Why is it so hard to say I was wrong?
Because from a male's perspective, it makes us feel vulnerable. Like I said earlier, for the most part, people feel when they feel vulnerable, they become uncomfortable.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
and nobody likes feeling uncomfortable.
Nobody
right?
likes to feel uncomfortable.
Nope. Yeah. We want everything to be easy breezy. We don't like to be comfortable. Talking about feelings is uncomfortable, especially for men, but even for some women. But
because
it does.
Mostly for men, we tend to shut down or we tend to be silent. So I just gave a nugget there.
Okay.
So women, you notice that he's silent. Something is wrong.
That is true.
Something is wrong.
Yeah, something is wrong when he gets silent.
Or if he goes outside to go mow the yard while you want to talk, or, go out there under the hood and start working on looking at the oil and saying it need to be changed or something, just finding ways to not
be in the house. Get away from you.
That's.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Y'all, he's showing out today. Okay.
Forgive me.
So yes, but that is so true. Saying I was wrong. Sometimes you feel, even though you may have been in the wrong, sometimes saying I was wrong, it feels like the other person, if you admit that you're wrong, they're gonna gloat.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then especially when you say I'm sorry to one of those people after you done said I'm sorry and admitted to your wrong, and then they want to still keep talking about the situation. Like, dang,
they saying I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Let me talk.
Oh my gosh, what did you have this morning? But yes, it's like, okay, I said I'm sorry. I acknowledge what I did. I said I will not do it again. So I said I'm sorry. So sometimes in their mind, they're like, you know what, next time I'm just not going to say anything. And so sometimes that can be a reason too why people don't, want to say that they were wrong. And so I want to ask you this.
Yeah, that's good.
What makes an apology feel genuine versus feeling forced? Wait.
Oh, she gonna put that on me. She gonna ask that question. Ownership. No, but justification.
No buts.
No buts. Just be accountable.
Wow.
Accept accountability.
Okay, y'all hear that? Put that in the chat. No buts. Just accountability. Absolutely.
Be accountable.
Absolutely. Because when you apologize, There should be no but in there. I was wrong. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Not I was wrong, but you said. Not I was wrong, but this. No, that means that but is a conjunction. It means, yeah, I'm sorry, but
this is the way I'm feeling. I'm ignoring.
This is what you did.
Yeah.
This is what you did. Taking accountability is just acknowledging.
Just own up to it.
What
say,
you
hey,
did. Taking ownership.
I did my part in this. What can we do to fix this?
Right. It's taking ownership for your part, because you can't. Now it's on them to take accountability and ownership for their part. But when you are truly sincere and genuine, and you mean that you're sorry or that apology, then you're not going to be so concerned about whether or not they apologize to you, because you just want to make sure that you do what you're supposed to do. You want to take accountability for your actions. So I got another question for you, but that was good. That was really good. What does emotional maturity, what does that look like during conflict?
Listening without interpreting. Not letting it escalate, but staying present in the moment.
Yeah. Listening without interrupting.
Yep.
Listening without trying to tell them how they feel. Not escalating the situation, because guess what? You start yelling, they yelling, y'all are not going to get anywhere. But if one is yelling and the other one is talking like this, soft answer. The Bible says a soft answer turns away wrath.
Yep.
But grievous words stir up strife.
Yep.
So I always say contempt breeds contempt. So if you want to have an emotionally mature conversation and resolve it, you got to talk calmly, peaceably, and listen to the other person without interrupting them.
Because I can't understand, or I'm not going to be willing to hear you if you at a high pitch at an octave of 100. I'm more focused on the yelling than I am listening. Yeah. So if I can come to a place where we can talk about it and be able to be at a tone where I can hear, I can pay more attention. Yeah.
Good. Somebody put that in chat. Stay calm and listen. Stay calm and listen, and stay present. You said something that's very important, because a lot of times, if you grew up in a household where all you heard was yelling and screaming and this, that, and the third, generally when you get in these relationships, you're not trying to hear somebody yelling and screaming at you all the time. So generally, I see a lot of this happen with a lot of people. They're going to tune it out, because they're like, that just triggered me, made me think about when I was at home. And what happens is I just go to another place and I don't want to hear it. Yeah. And so then they just completely shut down, and then you've gotten nowhere with the conversation. And so I want to ask you, what helps you to stay open instead of being defensive?
So I guess I'll say, is it really worth this? Am I really going to fix this? Am I the one that needs to make the change or adapt? So those are things that I feel,
That's good. Sometimes just stopping and asking yourself, do I care more about winning this argument, or do I care more about preserving this relationship?
Yeah.
Because
you can be right.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to be silent, even when you know you're right. Just let them have the win.
Let them have the win, huh?
Yeah, let them have the win. Yeah. And then, when cooler heads prevail, you can go back and talk over it and have the conversation, and then everyone is able to listen.
Right.
And, then you can get somewhere. You can get some ground.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you just focus on winning the argument, at the end of the day, neither one of you are going to win.
Nobody's going to win.
Nobody's going to win.
It's going to cause way more damage when it can be repaired.
Right. That's good. That's good stuff. So now we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to talk about faith. We're going to talk faith for a moment. Mm-hmm. So why do you think some people will pray about a conflict, but they struggle to apologize? Whoa, but that ain't nobody on here. Okay, I'm not talking about y'all. Why do you think that is? We'll pray it, oh God, bless the conflict, but then not change anything about the situation or apologize about the situation. So why do you think that is?
Because prayer feels spiritual, but apology feels personal.
Whoa.
One is vertical, the other is horizontal.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's powerful. So then tell me about this then. What does healthy humility look like without becoming suppression? Because what happens is, like you said, the prayer feels spiritual, but the apology feels personal. And again, kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier, is that if I admit to my wrong, it's like, oh man, it sometimes it makes people feel like they have let God down. They, if I have to own up to it, if I have to say I was wrong, or if I have to apologize, then I let God down. But guess what? You make God smile when you repent.
Right. There you go.
So, but yes, that's powerful. So what does healthy humility, what does that look like without becoming suppression? Hey, Kiki.
Hey. Healthy humility, it says, I can own my part without silencing my feelings.
Wow. Okay, so healthy humility says, you know what? I own my part.
I own my part in this.
I did wrong. Yep. I said, I shouldn't have talked to you like that. That was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. That wasn't cool. That's what healthy humility is. And so, because the opposite of pride is humility. So if pride will destroy a relationship, then what do you think humility will do? Humility will build a bridge.
It'll build it up
and help you repair whatever has been broken in that relationship. So now let's talk about what are some practical ways that people can close emotional distance. Like once pride has crept in and had created emotional distance, what are some practical ways that people can close that emotional distance?
I'll say start small.
Good.
Re-engage.
Right. Come back
Check
together.
in. Yes. Come back together. Check in. Apologize. And rebuild.
Wow. And you know what? I'm glad you said that. Apologizing. Because sometimes people think that when they apologize, that they're admitting that they're wrong. Sometimes you're not wrong in the situation, but the way you handled it is wrong. The tone that you use is wrong. How you came at them in response, is wrong. So some apologizing is not always saying that I was wrong. Apologizing sometimes is saying, I'm sorry for how I made you feel.
Yep. That's good.
Yeah, I'm sorry how I made you feel. So rebuilding that safety, admitting or acknowledging that I'm sorry how I made you feel can help you to rebuild safety in that emotional safety in that relationship. Yeah. So what phrase or action immediately shifts the atmosphere in a tense moment? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because I find a lot of people, when they're upset or when something has happened or there's conflict or something comes up within that relationship, sometimes people have a tendency to want to come and hug or they want to come and touch you, and the other person is like, nope, don't touch me.
Get
Leave me
off
alone.
me.
Get
Why you touching me? Get off
Oh, have you heard that before? He is really demonstrating that, y'all. So, oh my goodness. So yeah, so sometimes people think that, oh, I just need to give you a hug and then we can shift this atmosphere.
Right.
But then the other person on the other end, that's a trigger for them. And it's like, no, if I'm angry and you come to give me a hug or you come and touch me,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna feel provoked, and I might, react, not respond, but react in a way that's gonna cause more tension. So, what would you say a phrase or an action that can be done that immediately will shift the atmosphere in a tense moment?
I'll say, I don't want to fight. I want to fix this. Wow. What can we do to fix this?
Wow.
So focus. Argue. I just want to see what we can do to fix this.
That's awesome. Focusing on a resolution.
Yep.
Focusing on a resolution and how you can fix it.
Yeah.
Versus focusing so much on telling the other person they're wrong.
Yeah.
Or trying to win the argument. That's good.
Argument.
That's good. Now, I don't want to fight. I don't want us to have, conflict. I want us to be happy. How can we fix this? I want to fix this.
Like Mary J. Blige said, I just want to be happy.
Come on, Mary J. Y'all, what did he have this morning? He got some caffeine in his system, I do believe. Come on, Mary. I just want to be happy. And when you say those things, that will change the atmosphere. It's really hard to continue to be mad at someone who comes to you in humility and says, you know what, how can we fix this? I don't want us to fight. I want us to, be happy. So that was good right there. Good.
Wow.
All right. So what would you say to someone who values being right more than being relational? Ooh, if they value being right more than they care about the relationship, what would you say to them?
I'd say ask yourself what you're winning. Are you winning in this? Because if you win the argument but lose the connection, you didn't really win at all.
Ooh, wait. Wait a minute, y'all. That was good, sir. I'm going to need you to back that thing up and say that again. What would you say to somebody who values being right more than being relational, more than preserving that relationship? Somebody better listen to this one.
Once again, you got to ask yourself, is it worth winning? Because if you win the argument but lose the connection, you didn't really win at all.
Oh my goodness. That right there.
I'd rather have the connection.
Wow.
Than win the argument.
That was worth the price of admission right there, y'all.
Yep.
That's good. Ask yourself, what am I really winning? If you're so focused on winning, what are you really winning? Because at the end of the day, if the relationship ends, but you feel like you won, because, what did you win? Because you lost the connection.
Yeah.
You won an argument, but you lost the connection. And so it's not really worth it when all you have to do is just humble yourself and say, you know what? I was wrong. I was wrong.
And believe it or not, in relationships, people have a tendency to feel the need to be right and win versus, letting the situation take care of its own self, fix it and move forward. But somebody always wants to be the one that says, I'm winning this. Mm-hmm. And you get nowhere with it.
Right. Not solution focused, but winning focused.
Yeah.
Wow. And the thing about pride is pride feels powerful, feels like you're powerful in the moment. But the distance, it may feel safe temporarily.
Yeah.
But long term, Pride will create loneliness in your life. Because guess what? Pride will drive people away. Pride will make you withdraw from people who really have your best interest at heart. But you'll pull away or withdraw just over something menial or something small, even though I know it may seem big to you. But is that thing worth losing the relationship and the connection that you have? So, and as I said earlier, humility will rebuild that, rebuild that bridge. So if pride has made you distant, whether you're in a relationship, whether it's your family, whether it's a friend, it's not too late to close the gap.
Yep.
Okay? It's not too late to close the gap. Somebody ought to put humility in the chat.
Yeah.
It's not too late to close the gap, because mature love says, I care more about us than my pride or my ego.
Yeah.
I care more about our relationship than my pride and my ego. So think about what we said on today, because I know that somebody can take this and use it to make their relationships better. But mature love says, I care more about us than my pride or my ego. And I really hope that you have enjoyed this episode today of the Empower Her Experience podcast. Did you have a good time? You enjoyed today?
I had a great time.
As always, I love you for watching.
Yeah.
Thank you to my special guest, my co-host, my husband, my life partner, my boo thing. He is showing out today. Thank you all for hanging with us today, and we're going to see you next week. So until then, have a blessed weekend and be amazing today. Bye, everybody. We love you for watching. Thank you.